Also, back in my childhood, I collected tie Beanie Babies. These were around when I was a kid, and they were very popular, and I collected so many, and I tried to keep their tags on them. Levi's taking the tags off of some of them, but I loved these, and I've kept them all. I also really liked American Girl. If you've heard of American Girl, these are stories of different time periods. This is 1764. She's a Native American in North America. This is Felicity. She was a colonial girl. Josefina, she lived in the Southwest, like New Mexico, Arizona. Kirsten, she lived in the prairie, colonial times, like Little House on the Prairie. Have you ever heard of that? This is Addie. She lived in 1864 during a war we call Civil War, or the war between the states. This is Samantha. She was in the early 1900s, at the turn of the century. I had an American Girl doll that looked like her. And then this is Kit. In the 1930s, look at their roller skates back then, and they had comic books like Little Orphan Annie. This is the kind of things they wore. And then a lot of people were out of jobs. My grandparents were growing up during this time. My great-grandparents were born during this time in the early 1900s. And then we have Molly, another one of my favorite time periods, in the 1940s during World War II. So this was American Girls. This was a candle my mom had growing up in the 1960s and 70s. A little turtle candle I've kept over the years. And this was her stuffed animal. They didn't have tie Beanie Babies, but we've kept that. And she also liked Raggedy Ann. If you ever heard of Raggedy Ann, she's a little doll with red hair. These are some of the toys they had back then. Dominoes has been around for a long time. Monopoly has been around for a long time. Candyland has been around for a while. I played that as a little girl. There's Scrabble. You can spell words with Scrabble. And Chutes and Ladders. Really, really fun games they had back then. Another treasure I collected from my grandfather's house is these encyclopedias. There's his name. He's gone now, but his name was Dr. Cutchin. He started some schools. This is called North American Wildlife. And my son and I like to read encyclopedias that have all these pictures of animals. He especially likes the snakes and birds, and we can find out all about what animals live in Alabama and in North America. And also we can identify plants when we go for walks, which we often do, and bugs, insects, and fish. He really likes puffer fish and all kind of fish. So this is fun to keep around if you can get into your grandparents' and great-grandparents' houses. I also collect history books, and this is a gift we got. This is one of our favorites from DK Find Out. And you can go to dkfindout.com, but it's just like this, but it's a more updated version, and it's big. But there are all kinds of stuff and photos that you can find online on dkfindout.com or in books. These are non-fiction books, which means they're true. And they have all kinds of text features and photos and captions and labels. So, it's fun. dkfindout.com.